What's the biggest thing you worked on in this off season to get ready for this upcoming year?
I would just say like my mental approach and just being there for the younger guys. My situation's kind of oddly specific. Just being present in the moment, taking a lot of things in. Obviously, like you attack every moment. Like as football, you have to prepare every day. Every day's a work day, and it's tough. And a lot of, especially young guys, I struggled when I was younger mentally. You know, when times were tough, I'd be like, why is this not going my way? Why can't I figure this out? But, you know, I've learned that there's beauty in struggling and like overcoming things. And then with that too is overcoming it with your teammates, like the process of enduring hard stuff. So I just been grateful for a lot of, tough moments and, just being there for my teammates.
You go from being at Wayne State, being an All-American last year, you had some time away from the lineup when you got injured a little bit. How much was that a different viewpoint, and how much did it also make you miss football a little bit when you weren't out there?
Yeah, no, anytime you're not on the field, it kind of feels wrong in your gut. You hate to do that, but I mean, if you're not at your best, I mean, someone else has got to go and give their best, and then your role as a teammate changes. So the biggest piece for me is like I've always been a religious person, but I feel like I've grown a lot in my faith, especially the last few years as I've faced more adversity. So it's like as time goes on, you mature as an individual. So, yeah.
Offensive line, more so than any other position, you have to be able to, in an instant, switch to a different role. Whether you look at Mickey, right guard, tackle, he's played center, you've had to go in at left and tackle and guard. And how much does that also make you realize, though, that as an offensive line, everybody has to be interchangeable because you could be with a different teammate at any given moment?
Yeah, a big thing that we preach, I mean, any alignment would preach is just communication, being on the same page. You never know really who's going to be to your left and your right, but you have those reps. If it's like a live period in practice, you're always like preaching, like you're working on those fundamentals with that guy to your left and right? So anytime you make a mistake, you learn from it together, and then that's where like you have those stored banked reps when it comes to game time. When those reps matter, you can attack it and execute.
When you think about this year, and I don't want to get on with what's going on and the legal stuff that you're doing, but just how much did it also make you appreciate football more? That shows people that I don't want this game to go away yet.
Yeah, it's something so easy to like take for granted. I've been playing football since I was in third grade, and there's a lot of a sucky moment to football. There's a lot of adversity you have to go through. We get 4 or 5 weeks off the entire year. That's a lot of time away from my family. I actually got sent home for 2 weeks earlier in May, and it was good to be with my family for like a few days. But then afterwards, like the people I missed the most were like the guys, the people that I'm waking up 5, 6 in the morning to go work out with, but I know they're gonna be there too, so like it doesn't suck as much as you would think. It's like, what, there's like 40, 50 other guys that showed up, woke up on time, wearing the right stuff, they're on the line ready to go. Like that just gets me going. Let's attack this thing, right?
Like I said, running hills when it's 87 and 95% humidity. I mean, that's not something that most people will electively like. I want to go back and do that.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, you were talking about break earlier. My the Friday workout before we went on our 4th of July break, I threw up like 4 times. My dad goes like, "How was the workout?" I was like, "Well, I mean, it was tough, but we got through it. I made all my reps." But it took a lot out of me, but you draw strength from other guys that are doing the hard stuff with you.
What's the biggest thing that you've learned going from being a D2 athlete to being a D1 athlete about taking care of your body?
Oh man, it's huge. Camp, you're going 6 days a week, so I mean after 2 days your body's just physically broken down. One of the nice things here is like we have phenomenal like athletic training facilities. Whereas at Wayne it was not the same, so it wasn't as harped on to take care of your body in the same manner. So something that's worked a lot better for me here is just the consistency in which I take care of my body versus Wayne was more like, okay, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, versus like I can't afford not to take care of my body.
What's it been like so far to play for Coach Weezahan?
It's been interesting. I've been playing in college. I graduated high school in 2020. I've had 5 offensive line coaches, so everyone kind of preaches similar things. It's just different vocab. And then the other part is just how they reach you as a player. He's a lot more stern. He's gonna like kind of get under your skin. But I feel like that makes it like more human, because a lot of times it's like, block this guy, do this, that. But then like he'll like make a comment like just to make sure if you're listening. It's like not like nothing terrible. It's like a little playful jab, but It's like, oh man, like that's kind of funny. Okay, like he's got a little like personality to him. I mean, obviously he's gonna get on you too. Yeah. He's gonna demand a lot for you, like from you. But he loves on us. So
I hear one of his phrases is there's 5 steaks on the table.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's 5 starting roles. Someone's gonna eat, and if you got to eat like off your brother's plate, that's what it's gonna come down to. Like every room, there's competition from top to bottom. You got to eat. Figure out how you're gonna do it, right?
Away from football, what do you enjoy the most? What can we find you doing when practice is over? What are you doing to decompress?
Big thing for me is reading. I read a ton. I feel like it's good for me to, obviously there's like a physical aspect to life in football, but for me, like I found peace and quietness in reading and reflecting on what went well today and what didn't go well. Obviously, a big pillar of my life is my faith, and then I like fishing, anything outside. I like to go for walks, try to get some steps in. Just being present in the moment, taking it all in. So.
Any particular genre of books that we're reading?
A lot about like human psychology, why people think and act the way they do. Just try to like help me understand like who I am and like what makes me tick, and then in the inverse of that, like navigating my relationships in this building, outside of it, and like how I can be a better human towards others. So
we all know that degrees are important. You've got a couple of them. What has this college experience been like for you to gain that knowledge and now eventually know when those playing days are over that what's the next step?
Yeah, no, I mean, college has been like anything but easy for me, as it is for most people. My pipe dream as a kid was I wanted to be an engineer, so I started at Wayne State as an engineer, and I found out quickly that didn't mesh well with football, like at all. And it was tough seeing like my hopes of like becoming an engineer go away, and okay, now I'm full on this football thing, and like I'm doing business, which like wasn't my cup of tea at first, and I was kind of against it. But I feel like I found my niche in that program. My dad's in logistics, and I graduated with a degree in supply chain management. To answer your question, like, there's going to be a day where I wake up and I'm not going to be a football player anymore, but I'll carry like the lessons and the relationships I made with me for like the rest of my life. So that's something I'm really grateful for. And, one of the big things we preach here is like being a good man, being a good husband, a good father, a good role model, and like just a good human being. So I'll stick with that.
Supply chain management, it has to be one of the most interesting things all of a sudden, because you look at what COVID was and then how it was so disruptive and how it took forever for things to get back to going. But you also look at it like, how can Amazon all of a sudden ship billions of packages in an overnight delivery?
Right.
I mean, do you think of all that and just how the world has changed? We expect this instantaneously to show up at our doorstep, but it could be a half a world away.
Yeah, and then there's like different like purchasing packages and shipping packages.
Yeah.
The big thing, like you said, the COVID thing was like, why is there no toilet paper on the shelves? It made no sense to me. Just like, when I was younger, like traffic doesn't make sense to me. My dad would just be like, oh, there's just too many cars on the road. I'm like, that still doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But like as I dug deeper and studying supply chain management at Detroit and here, like, when we have a lot of industry like in the automotive and big tech companies. Like studying that just made a lot more sense to me, because I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
right?
It just should show up. It should be on the shelf.
Yeah.
To this year's theme in The Climb, because it's all about the progression, and it could be FedEx taking that risk. It's this team taking the risk. What does The Climb mean to you?
I mean, The Climb is just the process, I mean, we're hiking Pikes Peak this weekend, and this is my second year doing it. there's going to be a lot of moments where like you can look up and see the top of the mountain. Like you can see it, you can almost taste it, but like you still have to walk back and forth and back and forth. And the way you get there is like one step after another. And, you know, when you get to certain points along the journey, you're going to have to take a break, gather yourself, gather your friends, anyone close to you, hold on tight, like, let's go. This is all we got. And then you keep moving forward. And then that continues, the process continues even after football, like life when you have people depending on you too. So, yeah, the climb to me is just the process of everything.